Good morning, everybody. Oh, I'm so happy to see everybody here. So today's an exciting day for us. We've got Karen Dawson from Bloodworks Northwest is here to give us a presentation and to have a question and answer period. And Max is a volunteer who's also, as you can see, has been very instrumental in getting things set up. And this will be, it's looking like, assuming the next or this coming drive, which is on the 22nd of January, looks as though it will be the first, hopefully, of several to come throughout the year. So, okay, and with that, I'm going to give this to Max.
Perfect.
Your own.
Good morning, everyone. It's really nice to be here. I have to tell you that I've been working with Terry, Kathy, and Kurt to get sort of the building set up to be able to do blood drives here, and they have been like a pure delight to work with, super kind and super welcoming, and obviously Terry's background lends itself to understanding the importance of blood donation and hosting blood drives. So hosting a blood drive in the community has a huge impact, and we really appreciate St. Andrews opening your doors to be able to host a blood drive. We'll get into it more, but that's one of the biggest ways you can help the cause is hosting a drive, sharing news about the drive, and everyone has a role to play, whether or not you're able to donate yourself. So we can talk more about that. I'm going to do a little bit of a presentation, but we can then open it up to question and answer and make it much less formal. And yeah, we have Max with us today. He's a brand new volunteer with Bloodworks. So as we discussed today, we'll talk about volunteer opportunities and kind of how we can get involved that way if you're interested. I've been with Bloodworks since April of last year, and I began donating 3 years ago, initially with Red Cross, and now I donate with Bloodworks. So Bloodworks Northwest is the sole provider of blood for 95% of the hospitals in our region. Local patients in need rely on 356,000 blood collections per year. So where does the blood go from Bloodworks? It goes to the local hospitals that you all are familiar with. So we are the blood provider for Overlake Medical Center, Evergreen Health, Kirkland, Seattle Children's, Harborview Medical Center, most all of the local hospitals. When you donate with Bloodworks Northwest, about 6 weeks after your donation, you will get a text or an email that tells you where your blood was used, so which hospital it was used at. My last two, one was Overlake, and then one was a hospital in Shelton. It's super rewarding, I think, just to kind of have that connection to where your blood was used for a patient in need. Thank you, amazing. That's way too hard to read, but you can see UW Medicine, Swedish, kind of all the hospitals we think of. I used to work in the environmental industry, and we talked a lot about closing the loop and keeping materials local. The Bloodworks allows you to keep the blood local. I think that's an amazing program. So you truly are helping your neighbor. And we also do respond on a rotating basis to crises across the country. So if there's a hurricane or something like that, and we are like on call, we are the blood bank on call, then the blood will go out of state, but generally speaking, it stays local. So yeah, Bloodworks is the sole provider to 90 or more hospitals. We operate Western Washington, Bellingham, and then Western Oregon, so Portland, Eugene. Go for it. So in terms of how many blood donors are needed every day to keep our local blood supply healthy, 1,000 donors. And only 10% of eligible donors give blood on a regular basis. So I think there's another slide that's going to tell you that 3% of folks give blood, which is really kind of shocking considering that a lot of us are going to need a blood transfusion. But 1,000 donors are needed every day to maintain a stable blood supply. Bloodworks operates 365 days a year. There are only 3 days of the year that we're not out in the community hosting blood drives, which is January 1st, Thanksgiving and Christmas, but our centers are open. And so like this Thursday, our Bellevue Center will be open. And so we'll talk more, but another way you can make an impact is kind of donating one of those times a year when a lot of folks are busy doing other things. Every 2 seconds, someone needs blood. And then just looking at some of the reasons that people get blood transfusions and where the blood goes. Cancer is 1/3 of all blood, so it's used for adults and children with cancer and other bleeding disorders. It's an interesting topic of conversation. Like now that I'm in this space and I'll talk with a friend who has cancer or whatnot, and they tell me like, thank you for the work you do because I've had 14 units of blood, and it's not really something I would have thought about before. And 34% of all platelets are used by hematology, oncology patients. Trauma, 10 units in 24 hours is the definition of massive blood transfusion after major trauma. Typically, if we work with the high schools, which we work with most of the local high schools, they host blood drives. Trauma is the one thing that they think of with a blood transfusion. Typically, the kids don't think that cancer patients need blood, so that's a nice connection to make when they can relate to grandparents and friends that have cancer, realizing that blood donation is great for that. Childbirth. So every 9 minutes, someone in the US dies of bleeding complications during childbirth. My cousin, Megan, she's always told me I can tell her story, but she's in her 30s and she lost 14 units of blood. She almost died during childbirth, and it was wild because, grew up in Redmond, soccer player, super healthy, no indication that childbirth would be an issue for her, and it was really scary. And so she's super passionate, and she was the first person I told when I accepted the position at Bloodworks, because she's extremely passionate about blood donation. And so I think that's something that we don't always think about in this country, with childbirth being an issue like that. And then transplants, so 1,000 organ transplants. A typical transplant can require 40 units of blood, 30 units of platelets, 20 bags of, I do not know that word, sorry you guys, and then 25 units of plasma. But 40 units of blood is 40 individual donations. So when we donate a blood, we donate 1 unit, it's a pint of blood. And so 40 units, if someone needs 40 units of blood, they need that 40 people came and donated blood on their behalf. Thank you. Only 10% of eligible donors give regularly. So when we talk about eligible donors, it's like people that are able to give, healthfully, and we want to keep in mind the health of the donor as well as the recipient. People are eligible to give blood every 56 days. And so that's something to keep in mind. If you start donating at the St. Andrew's drives, we have paced them out on eligibility. So they won't be paced closer than 56 days, they'll always be further out. And then in the Bloodworks system, we'll never allow you to donate. It'll pop up if you're trying to donate within that 56-day period. But it works out to about every 2 months, about 6 times a year. Of course, it's personal choice how often you donate. The impact, so the health of our community depends on giving what we all have blood. At the blood drives here, everyone's going to just be donating whole blood only. If people want to donate platelets and plasma, I'm not the expert. You can do that at our Bellevue Center or any of our centers. We have centers in Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and that's just a little bit longer donation, different machines, different staff. So if you're interested in doing that, you can do that at one of our centers. Many of you may not know that 25% of our local blood supply is from high school students. So ages 16 and 17 can donate in Washington State with a signed waiver from their parents. I did provide waivers, so if anyone has youth, knows youth that wants to donate at the St. Andrews Drive, they can do that. I can tell you it's the most rewarding thing in the entire world to work with our local high schools. Teenagers get a bad rap, as you know, but going to the local high schools, just here, for example, we work with Interlake High School, Bellevue High School, Redmond High School, Eastlake High School, and some of the private schools as well. Bellevue Christian does blood drives. It's so amazing because the students coordinate the blood drive, so they are the ones doing the publicity, inviting their friends, and then they also donate at the drive. Oftentimes there'll be staff or parents that donate as well. But having started blood donation for myself at 45, I find it very courageous to watch a 16-year-old like rolling up his sleeve, and I often will ask them what the reason is that they donated, and it's always one of two answers. One is my friend asked me, or two, I don't know, I just seem like it could help another person. And I think that's just really generous and compassionate, and so it's great to see. But they're really important. The high school drives are extremely important because of this, and then also because it creates a lifetime donor. So if you go to our Bellevue Center and speak with some of the donors there, a lot of them are in their 60s and 70s, and they started donating in high school. So this was a cancer survivor locally, Isaac. 1/3 of all blood is used for adults and children with cancer and other bleeding disorders. 34% of platelets are used by hematology and oncology patients. We have a Thank the Donor program that is super cool. So when you donate, it's matched with a recipient, obviously. When it's matched to the recipient, they have the opportunity to thank the donor if they would like. They can fill out a thank you that goes back to the donor. Obviously, it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's incredibly rewarding. So these are just a few samples, but my son is receiving your blood right now. Thank you so much for this gift. It means more to us than I can possibly explain. I know he will go home today with more energy and pinker cheeks to continue on this journey to beat cancer. Thank you. Meet Steve, stabbing survivor. 10+ units in 24 hours is the definition of massive blood transfusion after a major trauma. A patient may need over 50 units of blood after a car accident. So thank you for your willingness to share a part of your body with a perfect stranger. I am currently suffering from MDS blood cancer and don't make platelets on my own, so thank you for sharing yours. Meet Molly, postpartum hemorrhage survivor. Every 9 minutes in the US, someone dies of bleeding complications during childbirth. Your voice and your influence can help make giving blood and saving lives a community habit. So to ensure our local patients have the blood they need when they need it, it takes all of us again and again. And like, I really like to remind people, because not everyone is able to give blood, that there's always to get involved. So sharing the word, posting the flyer for your blood drive at the local Starbucks or on your Facebook page, telling your neighbors that there's going to be a blood drive. Everyone has a chance to get involved, even if you can't donate blood. These are just the ways to get involved. And yeah, I'll tee up, so volunteerism is a great way to get involved with Bloodworks. We have a pretty dynamic, well-organized volunteer program, mostly because we have staff dedicated to running the volunteer program. So today is my first day meeting Max, who's a new volunteer on the east side. So Max, do you want to share like maybe about blood donation for yourself and then also volunteering?
Sure, yeah. I'll grab the mic just in case. I usually project pretty well on my own, but so yeah, I'll go back to my control spot. So yeah, I started donating blood a little over a year ago when I moved to South Seattle, and the first thing I noticed was how incredibly friendly and delightful and pleasant the staff were at the Bloodworks Renton location where I go to. I think you'll all notice, I mean, you're going to be doing blood drives here, and you'll be working with the staff too here, that they're a special breed of people, I think, because of what they do every day, and their kindness and their kind of joy in doing what they do kind of shows. And so I was thinking, how can I be around these people more and be part of this cool thing that they're doing? And so I signed up to volunteer. And so I am a donor experience specialist at the Renton location, and as of today, the Bellevue location as well. And there's multiple different volunteer jobs you can do there. You can be a donor experience specialist. You can help with the bus, the traveling blood drives. There's back office stuff you can do if you're not a people person. So again, like Karen said, there's a lot of different ways you can help. Even if you can't donate blood, or if you'd like to do something in addition to donating blood. So let me know if you have any questions about the volunteering.
I'm like too old to give blood.
Never too old to give blood.
There's no upper limit on age, weight, anything like that, and so there's no upper limit. You got to be 16, and then we don't worry about the rest. And then with regard to your eligibility question, those will come up so much. There is an eligibility page on our website. You can also call, but there is a medicine deferral list that you would want to cross-reference. And then also, if you just sign up to donate, like at St. Andrews, the process you'll find out, because you will answer a bunch of questions, and then they'll screen you. So you can check the deferral list though. And thank you for your interest and your previous donations.
Yeah, and if you guys, so I can take you to that on my laptop, open with the page with, so there are some things that we can tell you, there's a list of things that we just absolutely cannot do. We know for sure we can't, now is not the time, or it's called, again, deferral. And so it could be you can't do this for 6 months after, or a year after. So we can tell you those things clearly from the site. But then the things that we can't tell you for sure, you just need to call in and ask a tech about. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, any other questions before we continue?
Yeah, there we go, perfect. Yeah, so Terry is sort of your coordinator. Kathy, your communications person, has been amazing as well. And I know she's going to be getting the information out in emails and all of that. We have additional flyers if you guys would like to take one or share in your community. But basically, folks are gonna either scan the QR code or go to the link. It's gonna be for your drive specifically. So when you go on there, it's gonna say St. Andrews, and you sign up for an appointment slot. And we do require appointments just so that we're ready for folks when they come. And then, yeah, we have dates teed up after January 22nd. Once we see how January 22nd goes, we're planning to do them based on eligibility kind of through the year. And spreading the word, signing up, anything would be helpful. Does anyone have any other questions?
So in the past, it used to be like a van, or would come, but I understand you're going to use this room, is that correct?
Yeah, so we do both. So at this church, we're going to use this room, and then we also have a bloodmobile that goes out to different locations. Yeah.
I was going to say, are you going to bring in like cots or recliners or what kind?
Yeah, it's going to look just like a little mini blood center. It's going to have 4 or 5 beds, the registration table. It'll look just like it would kind of in our blood donation center. We'll have a canteen with all the goodies and all the snacks. They bring that with them. So yeah, it kind of just looks like a mini donation center. And we still have the bloodmobile that goes around to different sites. Not all sites are able to host us indoors. And so the bloodmobile is great for sites where it wouldn't be possible to be indoors.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.